On this day, we commemorate 2 centuries since the independence and revolution of Greece against the Ottoman occupation, which lasted 400 plus years. The significance of this revolution will prove to be not only pertinent for the continuum of Greek heritage and civilization, but also for the world. Since the fall of Constantinople in 1453, the Greek region fell under siege slowly from the many centuries of constant attacks from the Ottomans and their allies. Several centuries later, leading up to 1821, Greek independence took many years to come to fruition, beginning in 1821 and ending in 1832. Women, men, and children lost their lives in the Battle of Greek Independence. Due to the outnumbered military, the heroic sacrifices and patriotism of women and men who participated in the revolution was needed at all costs. A band of generals, political advisors, clerics, and academia banded in secrecy to create the revolution of Greece. The details of how it began are so fascinating, as at times it seemed impossible to go against the Ottoman Empire, at that which for 400 plus years had enslaved Greeks and forced them to change their identity with barbaric methods and treatments. But the ancient Greek spirit drove the war of independence that took mythical, almost proportions. A miracle that even inspired many Arab regions to revolt against the Ottomans, with the news spreading around the world like wildfire. Many felines around the world traveled to capture the battles and spread the news around the globe. Many often participated in the War of Greek Independence, indicating the long-standing lineage of ancient Greece and Byzantium that ignited the spirit of independence. A very important element, a corner piece, as there was a chain connecting the language, religion, cultural, and also movement for freedom, liberties, and the revival of the Athenian constitution of classical antiquity. After the independence was won, the European countries started adopting the Athenian constitution of classical antiquity, which till this day we see that it is influenced by many countries around the world, using it as a charter of freedoms, rights, and also many other legalities that tie with the constitution. It is important to note that the birth of the first Hellenic Republic is in 1822, a year after the successful reclaim of most Greek regions. Another key aspect is the proclamation published in the newspaper of Trieste in Italy to share with the rest of the world. This proclamation shows that the inspiration for the fight in independence was also a religious undertone, but most importantly, the connection with ancient Greece. That is why the proclamation of Athanasius Diakos cites, "For Christ and Leonidas you are fighting." This was published in a newspaper of Trieste in Italy. In this video, although the tens of historical figures have an extremely fascinating story to tell, I will detail the importance of this independence and the heroines, women who played equally a crucial role with the men. The focus of the role of the brave Greek women of the revolution, including but not limited to the Messalogitises, which are women of Messologi, Suliotises, the heroines Lascarina, Bubolina, and Mando Mavrogenous, a member of Philiki Eteria, the Friendly Brotherhood. The Suliotises were instrumental to the revolution, as they would throw rocks from the cliffs onto the battlefields. Due to their captive living conditions, the Suliotises are known for the dance of Zalogo, in which they became martyrs to the revolution. The role that Greek women played in the Greek War of Independence against the Ottoman Empire was highly instrumental, as these heroines helped shape the course of Greece's fight for freedom from the Ottoman Empire. Several women stand out as having influenced the Greek War of Independence, while others who are nameless will always be remembered in the hearts and stories of the Greek people for their bravery as revered martyrs. Let's take a look at some of the most memorable women who shaped the Greek War of Independence. Let's begin with Lascarina Bubolina, the renowned heroine of the Greek War of Independence. One of the most renowned female figures of the Greek War of Independence, Bubolina, was a patriot to her last breath. She was born in May of 1771 in a prison in Constantinople and led a most untraditional life for her times. Lascarina was married twice and inherited a fortune due to her marriages. There are reports that in 1819 Bubolina joined the Heroines, which was the society of friends that ignited the revolution, the idea of independence. This underground organization prepared to facilitate a revolution against Ottoman rule to liberate Greece. Bubolina went on to become a Greek naval commander in the Greek War of Independence when on March 13, 1821, she raised the Greek flag of the Comnenus dynasty of Byzantine empires on the mast of her ship and led her fleet of 8 ships to Nauplia, where she started a naval blockade. Her wealth and fortune came in handy as she spent most of her riches to supply ammunition and food for sailors and soldiers under her command. She would go on to participate in other naval blockages and the capture of Monemvasia and Pylos. In 1825, however, she was killed on the balcony of her house on Spetses during a family feud by an unknown assassin. Mando Mavrogenos, a fighter for the cause of Greek freedom. Born in 1796 in Trieste, Italy, which was at the time part of the Austrian Empire, Mavrogenos moved to Paros with her family in 1809 and joined the Heroines in 1820, when she learned from her father, who was already a member of the organization, that they were preparing for a revolution. She was wealthy and well-educated, and convinced her friends to donate their money and efforts to increase the weaponry for the Greeks fighting for the revolution, reaching as far as Paris to appeal to wealthy women to side with the Greeks. Mavrogenos first went to Mykonos to invite leaders to join in the revolution. Soon afterward, she left her family in 1823 to move to Nauplia to fight at the center of the conflict. She stayed in Nauplia after the war concluded, and she was granted the rank of lieutenant general by Kapodistrias. After Kapodistrias' assassination, Mavrogenos returned to Mykonos and lost her life to typhoid fever in July of 1848. Ralu Karadza. Ralu Karadza was a princess, actress, and revolutionary. Born a princess in 1799, Karadza became an actress, theater director, and translator. She was participant in the Greek War of Independence, as it rumored that she too became a member of the Heroines, using her influence as a stage actress to help the revolution. Karadza translated and performed plays from Western Europe in Bucharest, where she became a valuable weapon of propaganda for the revolution. Reports say that she died in 1870. The Mesologitisses, heroines who defended Greece in the War of Independence. The War of Mesologi, or Mesologitisses, are remembered as the brave heroines who, during the Greek War of Independence, helped in the efforts to liberate Greece from the Turks in many ways. They do not only defend Western Greece, they long sieged the area. They also helped the soldiers by transporting materials to build forts such as wood and tools, and helped Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share my video. Bye for now.